judge who decides asylum and deportation appeals. It took nothing more than a basic Google search to uncover his past comments that the Conservative Party should be treated the same way as Nazis and cancer. As a sitting judge, he's publicly supported Labour's plans to scrap the Rwanda scheme and for illegal entry into the United Kingdom to be decriminalised. Does the Lord Chancellor believe this is compatible with judicial impartiality? And if not, what does she intend to do about it?
Well, firstly, let me thank the Right Honourable gentleman for the remarks he made in relation to the new Nottingham inquiry. I'm very grateful for his support. I'm sure the whole House will want to see that inquiry come to as quick a conclusion as possible. Let me say to him, when people might have complaints to make about judges, there is a placed mechanism for them to do so by making a complaint to the Judicial Complaints Office. If he wishes to make a complaint, he can do so. What I'm not going to do is indulge in personal, effectively doxing of judges, not when judges are simply doing their job of applying the law in the cases that appear before them. If there are complaints to be made about judicial conduct, I'm sure the Shadow Lord Chancellor knows how to go about doing it.
Can I just say we have to be careful on what we're doing, and we're not stepping into an area we should be. We're not meant to criticise judges, and this House wouldn't do so. And I'm sure we'd like to change the tone. Lord Jenrick.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it is important that judges and the manner in which they are appointed is properly scrutinised in this House, and I won't shy away from that. Mr. Speaker, Helen Pitcher was forced to resign in disgrace as the chair of the Criminal Cases Review Commission after a formal panel found that she'd failed in her duties during one of the worst miscarriages of justice in recent memory. But she's still in charge of judicial appointments, despite judges appearing in the media every week now for their activism. Her commission has failed to conduct the most basic checks on potential judges, either out of sheer incompetence or out of sympathy with their hard-left open borders views. The commission is broken and is bringing the independence of the judiciary into disrepute. How much longer will it take for the Justice Secretary to act and to remove the chair of this commission from her position and defend the independence and reputation of the judiciary?
I'm afraid he can't elide the process for the appointment of judges with a wider attack on the independence of the judiciary. I would hope that he would take the admonishment from the Speaker and the clear approbation of this House to reflect on the way in which he is approaching his role. If there are complaints to be made about judicial conduct, there is already a robust process in place to do so, and if the Shadow Chancellor wants to avail himself of that, I'm sure, given how active he is, he'll be happy to do so. What is completely improper is to take his position in this House to indulge in a wider attack of the judiciary at a time when we know that judicial security has been compromised.
Order, please. It is topical with other members to get in. It's a very... Tension's running high. Let's just see if we can calm them down with the integers.
Before leaving, we request everyone to like and share the video so that it reaches a wider audience. Also, feel free to comment down your thoughts.
In a tense exchange in the House of Commons, Immigration Minister Robert Jenrick confronted Shadow Chancellor Shabana Mahmood over mounting concerns surrounding judicial impartiality and the integrity of the appointment process for judges, an issue reignited by revelations surrounding comments made by a senior immigration judge and the controversial tenure of Judicial Appointments Chair Helen Pitcher. Jenrick, known for his combative style in parliamentary debate, took aim at what he described as a conspicuous lack of seriousness from the opposition in safeguarding judicial neutrality. Citing comments made by a sitting immigration judge that have recently resurfaced, Jenrick emphasized the gravity of maintaining not just the appearance of impartiality, but the very foundations of public trust in the judiciary. These are not trivial concerns, Jenrick declared to a packed chamber. When an immigration judge steps beyond the bounds of judicial reserve, the consequences ripple through the public's confidence in our legal system. We owe it to the public and to those who appear before our courts to ensure that judges are not only impartial, but perceived to be so by all. The debate was sparked in part by criticism over the existing mechanisms for handling judicial conduct complaints, with some MPs expressing concern that the current procedures lack transparency and robustness. Jenrick, however, countered that there are proper channels in place through the Judicial Conduct Investigations Office, G-CHI, and he urged the opposition to respect those mechanisms rather than politicize them. But it was the issue of judicial appointments that drew some of the most pointed exchanges. Jenrick referenced Helen Pitcher's controversial period as chair of the Judicial Appointments Commission, JAC, noting that her time in the role had raised difficult questions about how ideology, diversity mandates, and personal networks might be influencing the selection of judges behind closed doors. Transparency must be at the heart of how we select those entrusted with the extraordinary power of the gavel, Jenrick said. And when the public sees appointments tainted by cronyism or ideological groupthink, it is not only the courtrooms that suffer, but democracy itself. Pushing back, accused Jenrick of flirting with dangerous populism by implying that the judiciary was anything less than independent. What we are seeing here is an attempt to scapegoat individual judges and appointments as part of a broader ideological battle, she said. The rule of law is not something to be gamed for political advantage. Nevertheless, Jenrick's remarks appeared to resonate with several backbench MPs, particularly on the conservative side, where unease about judicial activism and perceived liberal bias has been simmering for some time. Several MPs echoed Jenrick's demand for greater scrutiny of the appointment process, calling for independent audits and increased parliamentary oversight of the JAC. The row comes amid growing public scrutiny of Britain's legal institutions, particularly in areas intersecting with immigration, human rights, and national security. While ministers have been careful not to directly attack sitting judges, mindful of constitutional conventions, there is increasing pressure from within the conservative ranks to rebalance what some see as an overreach by an activist judiciary. In a post-debate interview, Jenrick doubled down. "We cannot be afraid to have an honest conversation about the state of our judiciary. If there are judges who are overstepping or appointments that raise red flags, we have a duty to address it, not to sweep it under the carpet out of some outdated deference." As the debate continues, one thing is clear. The previously sacrosanct separation between politics and the judiciary is being tested like never before. And with general elections looming, questions about who gets to interpret the law and how they get the job are no longer confined to legal circles. They're now front and center in the national political debate.
Can I press the Secretary of State on this issue of transcripts? When I asked for a transcript for a major trial recently, Manchester Crown Court told me it cost me £100,000. When I pressed them, it went down to £9,000, but still way beyond the reach of most people. This is a travesty of justice. Other countries, including some American states, have free transcripts available now. When is she going to sort this out?
Hear, hear.
He will know that the issue is, at the moment, transcripts have to be physically transcribed by a human, listening back to what was said and done in court and transcribing it by hand. Previously, speech-to-text transcription has been piloted by the previous government. It wasn't accurate enough. I'm sure he'll agree that any transcripts that are ultimately published have to actually be accurate. It's why we're looking at AI models. We hope to be able to find a model that gives us the requisite level of accuracy and also the speed in order to be able to publish transcripts and to do so cheaply.
A political firestorm is brewing over the sky-high cost of UK court transcripts after it was revealed that a recent major trial transcript was quoted at an eye-watering sown £100,000. The figure has sparked outrage among MPs and legal observers who say the current system blocks public access to justice and undermines transparency. "This isn't just unfair. It's a scandal," one MP declared. "Justice should be accessible to all, not just those who can afford it. The Justice Secretary is under pressure to act, with critics demanding urgent reform. Many are pointing to AI as a potential solution. Voice recognition tools could drastically cut costs and speed up transcript production, but privacy and data integrity concerns remain. Campaigners argue transcripts must be freely available, especially in trials involving public interest. "These aren't luxury items," said a civil liberties spokesperson. "They're essential records of accountability." While the government has acknowledged the problem and is piloting new technologies, no firm commitment has been made to make transcripts free. Until then, access to justice may remain, quite literally, out of reach for many. Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more content. Want the inside scoop? Join our Telegram for exclusive updates and real-time discussion. See you there.